Coming up, a story of revenge served on a silver platter. Watch how a discriminated immigrant waitress turns the tables on a CEO who picked the wrong person to bully. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more stories of sweet justice being served. Maria wiped the sweat from her brow as she balanced 3 plates on her experienced arms. The morning rush at Clayton's Fine Dining was in full swing, but she never complained. After 15 years of serving tables across 2 countries, she had developed a grace that made the demanding work look effortless. Her accent, though, still carried the warmth of her Mexican hometown, something she wore with quiet pride, until today. The restaurant's door chimed as Catherine Morrison strode in, her designer heels clicking against the polished floor. As CEO of a major tech company, she commanded attention wherever she went. Her eyes, cold as winter frost, immediately locked onto Maria, who was clearing a nearby table. "I specifically requested not to be seated in the immigrant section," Catherine announced loudly to her business associates, her voice dripping with disdain. The other diners shifted uncomfortably in their seats, but no one spoke up. Maria felt her cheeks burn, but kept her head high, approaching their table with professional courtesy. With each visit over the next hour, Catherine found new ways to demean Maria. She mocked her pronunciation of menu items, made snide comments about illegals taking American jobs, and even filmed Maria's attempts to explain the daily specials, encouraging her social media followers to join in the ridicule. The other waitstaff watched helplessly as Maria endured the abuse. Some customers left their tables in disgust at Catherine's behavior, while others awkwardly pretended not to notice. Through it all, Maria maintained her composure, though her hands trembled slightly as she refilled water glasses. The restaurant's manager, Michael Chen, observed everything from his usual spot near the kitchen. His face remained impassive, but his eyes never left the unfolding scene. He pulled out his phone and made a quick call, speaking in hushed tones. Catherine's cruelty reached its peak when she accidentally spilled her red wine on Maria's pristine white apron. "Oh dear," she said with mock concern. "I hope that doesn't come out of your minimum wage." Her companions forced uncomfortable laughs as Maria quietly excused herself to clean up. When Maria returned, Catherine was mid-rant about maintaining standards in fine dining establishments. She demanded to speak to the manager, certain this would finally rid her of the incompetent server. A small crowd had gathered, phones discreetly recording the confrontation. Michael Chen approached the table with measured steps, his tablet in hand. "Ms. Morrison," he began, his voice carrying across the now silent restaurant, "I believe it's time we discussed your behavior." Catherine's face registered shock at his direct tone, but she quickly recovered her arrogant demeanor. "I'm glad you're here," Catherine declared, straightening her designer blazer. "Your hiring practices are clearly damaging your restaurant's reputation. I have over 1 million followers who would be very interested in hearing about this situation." She gestured dismissively toward Maria, who stood quietly nearby. Michael's response was unexpected. He turned his tablet around, showing a compilation of security footage from the past hour. "Actually, Ms. Morrison, I think your board of directors would be more interested in this footage. You see, I'm not just the manager. I'm an investigative journalist working on a series about workplace discrimination." The color drained from Catherine's face as Michael continued. He explained that Clayton's Fine Dining was part of a nationwide investigation into how wealthy patrons treat service workers, particularly immigrants. Every table was equipped with hidden cameras and microphones, capturing crystal-clear evidence of discriminatory behavior. Catherine's companions began to distance themselves, gathering their belongings and mumbling excuses. The other diners had stopped pretending not to watch, their phones now openly recording the scene. Michael's revelation wasn't finished, though. He turned to Maria with a respectful nod. "Would you like to introduce yourself properly now?" he asked. Maria stepped forward, her posture transforming as she squared her shoulders and lifted her chin. The trembling hands and submissive demeanor vanished, replaced by quiet confidence. "My name is Dr. Maria Hernandez," she announced clearly, her accent still present, but her voice firm and authoritative. "I hold a PhD in behavioral psychology and am the lead researcher on this national study of workplace discrimination." The silence in the restaurant grew heavier as Catherine's jaw dropped. Maria explained how she had immigrated legally 20 years ago, earned her doctorate while working as a waitress, and now conducted research that exposed discriminatory practices in various industries. Her current project, funded by several civil rights organizations, had already gathered evidence from dozens of restaurants across the country. Catherine's phone began buzzing incessantly as notifications poured in. The videos of her behavior had already gone viral, with her own followers turning against her. Corporate communications from her company flooded her inbox as the board called an emergency meeting to address the PR disaster. "Your actions today," Maria continued, her voice carrying throughout the restaurant, "will serve as a central case study in our upcoming publication. Every snide remark, every attempt to humiliate me, every discriminatory comment has been documented and will be analyzed in detail." The other customers, many of whom were business professionals themselves, began whispering among themselves. Several recognized Catherine from industry events, and the news was spreading rapidly through their networks. Her reputation was unraveling in real time. Michael added that the research team had been tracking Catherine specifically, aware of numerous complaints about her treatment of service workers at other establishments. Her pattern of behavior had made her an ideal subject for their study on how wealth and power can corrupt basic human decency. Catherine attempted to regain control of the situation, threatening lawsuits and professional consequences. But Maria calmly informed her that all participants in the study had signed waivers upon entering the restaurant, including Catherine, who had blindly agreed to the terms when making her reservation online. The evidence was damning. Catherine had demonstrated textbook examples of discriminatory behavior, power abuse, and xenophobia. As she sat there, her face alternating between rage and panic, her phone continued to explode with messages. Her company's stock price had already begun to drop as the story spread. The other diners had begun to applaud, some even standing up to show their support for Maria. Several approached to shake her hand and share their own stories of discrimination. What had started as one woman's cruel behavior had transformed into a powerful moment of community solidarity. In the days that followed, the incident became a nationwide talking point. News outlets picked up the story, featuring interviews with Maria about her research and the broader implications of workplace discrimination. Catherine's company, facing intense public pressure, announced her immediate resignation and launched a comprehensive review of their corporate culture. Maria's research paper, when published months later, became required reading in business ethics courses across the country. The security footage from that day was used in corporate training sessions to demonstrate how privilege and prejudice can manifest in everyday interactions. Catherine Morrison's name became synonymous with workplace discrimination, her fall from power serving as a cautionary tale for others who might abuse their position. She was forced to sell her company shares at a loss and retreated from public life, her career effectively over. As for Clayton's fine dining, it transformed into a symbol of workplace equality. The restaurant instituted new policies to protect its workers from discriminatory behavior, and Maria's research team helped develop training programs for other establishments across the country. Years later, when asked about that day, Maria would smile and say that sometimes the best way to fight discrimination is to let people reveal their true nature while you document every moment. Her work had not only exposed one person's prejudice, but had sparked a national conversation about respect, dignity, and the treatment of service workers. The incident served as a powerful reminder that appearances can be deceiving, and that those we attempt to demean may turn out to be far more powerful than we imagine. Maria's quiet strength had transformed a moment of humiliation into a victory for workers' rights and human dignity. If you enjoyed this story of justice served, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell to never miss another tale of sweet revenge and karmic justice. Leave a comment below sharing your own experiences with workplace discrimination. Your story matters. Until next time, remember, treat everyone with respect because you never know who they might really be.